Greetings everyone, it's T-Bear, and it's all of a sudden occurred to me that it is Friday, October the 23rd. That means that Preptober is almost gone, so if I have any hope of wanting to participate in Nanowrimo this year, I have really got to get started. So that's going to be the purpose of this weekend. So I'm going to try to vlog up a little bit as I go through my weekend, trying to get my preparations ready so that I have something to start on Nanowrimo in just about a week. So wish me luck, and here we go. Okay, so I hooked up my lapel mic, so hopefully you'll be able to hear me a little better, and put on my blue blocker glasses. So let's see what we have here. So I'm going to basically devote this entire weekend to plotting in preparation for the novel, but for right now, tonight, I think what I'm going to try to do is just kind of work on my character sheets a little bit, finish picking all the names and all the physical descriptions. So what I personally like to do, because I'm not real creative with physical descriptions for characters, is I like to kind of cast it like a movie in my mind. So what I'll do is I'll pick the actors or actresses that I kind of have in mind for each one of the characters, and then I'll find a sort of a good picture of them online or whatever, and keep that in like a reference folder, and then that's what I sort of use to describe my characters. Although I do try to stay a little bit on the intentionally vague side with my character descriptions to give my readers an opportunity to sort of see themselves in the part. So what we're going to shoot for Nanowrimo this year is a little idea I've been kicking around about, sort of a buddy mystery about a bunch of college kids who get involved in sort of solving little mysteries and crimes there on campus. I know it sounds a little on the hokey side, but hopefully I'm going to be able to bring it something kind of unique and fresh. So we'll see what we're doing. So the first thing I want to do is I want to pick all of my character names. I'm old. I write in a book, and I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I actually forgot to write one. 6 kind of main characters here. So I'm going to spend a little time on the author's best friend baby name websites until I can pick out some names that sound like they didn't come out of Victorian England to give to all of my characters. All right, excuse my messy desk and my tangle of cords around here, but I'm not exactly the neatest, cleanest housekeeper you've ever seen, so we're just gonna go with it. How many B's are in the word baby? I cannot even spell the word baby. This is going brilliantly for my writing career. Okay, we're going to start with girls. We need 3 girls. 2 of those are twins and 1 is not. So we're going to start with girl names. Ooh, you know what? Let's be progressive and let's go with some gender-neutral names. How about that? Using good old babynames.com, because it's the first thing that came up on my Google search. Okay, so a few things I notice here. I do not really consider Abby as being a gender-neutral name. I don't know if I've ever met a non-female Abby, but maybe you can set me straight in the comments. We will not be using A, B, C, D, E. That's, I believe, pronounced Absidae, but that's not for me. Let's see, Alabama. I'm from Georgia. I can't name any children Alabama. And on to some boy names. I think I'm going to give my main boy character a name that starts with a C. I think that's what I'm feeling today. Oh, my pen's leaking. Sad Travis. Oh, it's leaking everywhere. Oh, sad Travis. Well, I guess a little ink never killed nobody. Raiden is a boy's name now? There's a lot of Mortal Kombat fans out there, huh? Or maybe that's like a traditional name and I just didn't realize it. If Shao Kahn starts showing up in the S's, I'll know what's up. And now we start plotting, which I won't keep you all along with me the whole time for that. I'm just going to open up some Google Docs. I'm going to pick a crime that's common in on college campuses. It's maybe not too terribly serious, but it's serious enough to be interesting. And yeah, I'm going to start figuring out how I'm going to weave it together. So I'm planning to have a pretty big day tomorrow of writing. So I'm going to try to get up relatively early for me on a Saturday, which is probably around 9 or 10 o'clock, and turn in a sort of a whole writing day. So we'll see. I've also got to do a little carpet shampooing tonight because, you know, I'm a grown-ass man, and so I have grown-ass man responsibilities as well, unfortunately. And I think I'm going to put a pork roast in the crock pot so that I can eat over the weekend without having to worry too much about that. So that's going to be kind of the rest of my Friday night. So I'll talk to you guys all again tomorrow on Saturday. Well, good morning, everybody. It's actually not morning. It's about 2 o'clock in the afternoon because I woke up not feeling so great this morning. But I feel better now, and I'm ready to get started on my day. Last night, I did make some progress on sort of coming up with the overall story, the mystery that my characters are going to be trying to solve, and then naming it, all of the characters and coming up with their physical descriptions. We'll have all of that. So the goal for today will be to kind of sit down and sort of start to figure out the overall outline, which I'll talk about a little bit more in a minute when I'm working on it. But first, I'm going to eat. So I have some strawberries. I have a mac and cheese cup. And my pork, which turned out really, really well, is in the oven right now, getting sort of finished off with a little barbecue sauce. So I'll be bringing that out in a few minutes. And yeah, and then we'll be getting started on our day. You know, have you ever noticed that if you ask somebody for a grape, there's lots of different kinds of grapes. There's moondrop grapes, there's the white grapes, there's the red grapes, there's the black grapes, there's the seedless grape. All these different, there's those little champagne grapes, all these different kinds of grapes. But if you ask for a strawberry, you're going to get exactly the same thing every time. There is only one type of strawberry, the red seedy ones. Just where are all the other strawberries? So just incidentally, if you guys ever see me kind of looking off and up to the top here, I have like a supplemental monitor up here, like a second monitor. So when I'm working or whatever, I usually kind of have it down here. But when I'm filming, the place that I set my camera up, it would get in the way. So it's on a little like swing arm, so I move it up here. So if you ever see me sort of looking up and you wonder, what in the world is he looking at? Has he lost his mind? I'm just looking at another monitor here. I don't really know, like I can't really work and look at the camera, but I feel like I should be looking at the camera, but I'm not really a look at the camera type of person. So yeah, we're gonna get better about that as we do more vlogging. Oh no, I haven't had my lapel mic on at all. Oh, what to do? Can't go back and remake lunch. What do you think? Should I put the lapel mic on, or should I just keep it consistent? I'll keep it consistent. We'll see how it turns out. Maybe next time we'll find out we have to have the lapel mic. We'll see. So I decided if I don't actually do any footage of myself actually working, A, you're going to think I don't actually do anything with my writing, and B, it's going to be a very short vlog. So I thought I would kind of show you my Google Docs here and sort of take you through a list of all of the various things that I have saved up here that I worked on over the years. Now, a couple are not mine, and a couple of them are Word documents I worked on with other people. But for the most part, these are all original writings that I've done. So nothing's finished. That's been my writing career so far. But I save every little snippet, and hopefully gonna come back one day when I'm, let's say, worthy of writing whatever that story would have been. So my neighbors are out cutting the grass. So if you hear lawnmower noises, I'm sorry about that. There's nothing I can do. but I don't want to lose the natural light here for filming. So yeah, we're just going to try to push through. So I never said this before, but actually when I was in college, I took a couple of creative writing classes. I am not an English or literary major in any way, shape, or form, but I did take some creative writing classes back then. So a lot of these are things that I started or worked on during that time. I have, I have my first sort of mystery I started working on here, which I'm still intending to come back to. Actually, I probably should write that as my nano story. It's probably the most developed idea that I have. I guess in a way, I just don't want that to be my first. I just don't want that to be my first novel, because if I'm kind of hoping that it will actually be some kind of good, and I know that first completed novels are never any good. I've completely embraced that. It's very liberating, really, to think about being able to write something and there's no expectation of it being any good. But anyway, so I have that. I have a couple of sci-fi things that I wrote for my creative writing class here. I have a couple of fan fictions in here, believe it or not, that I worked on with my sister many years ago. I have several sort of like personality sort of relationship things that I've written here. Even one nonfiction that I wrote. My current project outside of what I'm going to do for Nanowrimo is actually a group of short stories that kind of take a bunch of ideas that I had for like maybe some futuristic sort of future of humanity kind of things, but that I was never able to really flush out into full length. Boy, there's a lot of spelling and grammar errors in here. If you can actually see that in the video, you'd see that I'm apparently a terrible writer. But anyway, I decided to take several of those ideas I had that I couldn't really flesh out into complete stories, and maybe write a series of short stories that kind of sort of my dystopian vision of the future, I guess. Hopefully none of this actually comes to fruition. So yeah, that's kind of a trip through my Google Docs there. I'm not going to go through them individually, but I'm going to start up a new one now for the NaNoWriMo stuff. So we're going to go to New. We're going to go to Google Doc. Oh, and there you are, the most intimidating thing in the writer's world, the blank page. I don't have a name for this, so right now I'm just going to call it College Mystery. I'm going to list out my main characters and talk a little bit about them, including their physical descriptions. But then what I really want to get to, because I've got the character stuff written in my little notebook here, I just need to copy a lot of that over. What I really want to get into today is listing out scenes. So I don't know anything about Save the Cat and or any of those writing methods like that. I have read a few books over the years about how to plot and how to how to write, if you want to call it that. But what I have kind of developed for myself, at least as an outlining method over the years, is sort of what I call play structure. So I just break it down into usually 3 acts, kind of a beginning, a middle, and an end. And then I try to come up with, maybe 5 or 6 scenes per act that I really want to write. And then I kind of call that an outline. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I've got sort of the very beginnings of an idea. So I can start with like Act 1. And the purpose of Act 1 is to kind of introduce the characters and the problem. And then Act 2, in this case, because it's a mystery, I think I'm going to try to make Act 2 sort of the meat of like solving the mystery. Okay, and then I'm going to have Act 3, and Act 3 is going to be kind of the resolution. So that's the way that I like to personally sort of organize my my outline. So that's what I'm going to do. So I've got a few scenes in mind. I hope this is common to all writers, that I've got a few scenes in mind sort of spread out across the whole thing, but it's how to sort of link them together that's going to be the big problem. So the first hurdle I need to jump is just getting these characters together, because I'm going to use the old trope of bringing in kind of a new kid so that my readers can kind of learn about the group with him. But that I don't have to labor through the building of every one of these relationships, of every one of these characters. Hopefully, the new kid comes in and I just have to build his relationships to these people. And my reader will just kind of take it on faith that these other characters have been together for a couple of years now, and that their sort of relationship is already established. So that's the technique that I'm going to kind of go with. And then I don't know if I said this last night, but the basic idea, I have sort of 5 main characters. And the basic idea is going to go through writing a chapter in each of their point of views and kind of cycle through. So I've never really done much in the way of a first person point of view before. So that's kind of that's going to be kind of new for me, but that's what we're going to try to do. So in addition to coming up with all of these scenes, I also need to go back and decide whose point of view each scene is going to be from. So that's kind of going to be my goal for today, is to list out all the scenes that I kind of already know and who is going to be speaking in each of the narratives for each one of those scenes. And then I'll kind of shuffle them and move them around. I don't know. Google Docs will apparently do some headings for you. So if I'm smart and I create my headings the right way, I think it'll sort of reference things over here. So I'm going to find out. I really don't know. I only started using Google Docs very recently. Until then, I used Microsoft Word for everything, which is fine. But from looking at the AuthorTube community, it looks like that Google Docs or Scrivener gives some additional benefits that maybe I won't get through Word. I think I talked about in my AuthorTube newbie tag, the main reason that I switched over to Google Docs is because Google Docs saves everything for you automatically on its cloud, and allows you to kind of move from one device to another seamlessly. So that was the real reason I went with Google Docs, but it certainly is helpful that it's basically a free and fully functional word processor. And so, so that's really good. And, anything above and beyond that is really just gravy as far as I'm concerned. So let's go with it and see what we have. So enough talking. I'm going to set up the camera down here so I can get a few minutes of myself actually working, so that you believe I actually do this occasionally, and we'll go from there. All right? All right, so I've gotten a couple things written down here for scenes. I'm going to be thinking a little bit about the story, and I think best when I'm doing something else creative. So while I'm sitting here thinking, I'm going to play my guitar a little bit. So for some of you who may not know, and not this past September, but the September before that, my father passed away. And so, so I've been working on a little bit of as I do for the people I care about often, I've been working on a little song inspired by my dad. So I'm going to think about that some today, and maybe I'll put a few snippets of it in the video here for you in a minute, so that you can hear kind of the progress I'm making. So I'm a long way away from being finished, but I'm going to work on that a little bit while I'm thinking about what to do for the novel. So yeah, that's going to be my next few minutes here. Well, so this vlog is going to be a disaster because in the middle of playing my guitar over there, also realized that my air purifying machine is still still turned on. So that means that I'm going to have to figure out a way to fix that in the editing to remove that background noise, hopefully. Fortunately, I have a little bit of experience with sound editing through recording music, so we'll see what we can do. Well, I am in a quandary. So I've spent this day actively plotting on this novel, I promise, even the time I was on the exercise bike or making the Brunswick stew. I've been working on this, and I've actually ended up typing up about 976 words. I've come up with a number of ideas for developing the different personalities of the characters. I found character references of people and actors and things like that that I want to sort of model their appearance after. I've written quite a number of things about all of that, and I've come up with a crime for them to solve and a number of scenes that I want to write. My problem is that I have a scene that I really, really, really want to write to introduce these characters and their relationships to each other. But I'm sort of planning this to be a series, and I've already come up with maybe 3 or 4 different crimes for them to solve. And the scene that I want to write so badly does not really fit with the crime that I had chosen to be my first, the first one in the first novel. So I don't know what to do. Sleep on it, I guess. For those of you who are wondering, the Brunswick stew is coming along really well. I want to talk about Brunswick stew for a minute. So, as I've mentioned in a couple of videos so far, I am originally from Georgia. And barbecue places in Georgia, most of them carry something called Brunswick stew. But apparently the people in Ohio have never heard of this. So I don't know if it's like a north-south thing or if it's just a Georgia-specific sort of thing. But Brunswick stew. So we found a recipe. My mother actually found a recipe for Brunswick stew that she and I tried when she was up here paying a visit a couple of weeks ago, and we really, really liked it. So I've made a few pots of it since then. That was the recipe that you saw earlier. I'll show you tomorrow kind of how it turned out. It's boiling up now and has been simmering for a couple of hours, so it should be delicious. So I'll probably have it for lunch tomorrow. So there's that. It's now about 1 o'clock in the morning, 1:08 a.m. actually on Sunday morning. So I'm thinking about going to bed soon, and I guess I'm just gonna try to sleep and dream on this story a little bit and see if I can close some of the gaps here. Yeah, because I'm not really sure what to do. So I guess that's it. So I guess I'll see you all in the morning, and we'll continue for our Sunday. I am not in emergency time yet because Preptober still has about a week to go. So I have quite a bit of time to sort of think and plot on this. So I'm not in trouble yet, but I do need to make a couple of big decisions before I can really go on with plotting this. So we'll see. The problem is going to be that if I decide to change my crime to the one that better matches the scene I really want to write, to display or to develop the character relationships. I have not thought as much about that crime, so I'm gonna, in a way, it's gonna be kind of going back to the drawing board. But we'll see. It's the creative process, I suppose. This is what we sign up for when we become creatives. So I'll talk to you all tomorrow. We'll see what daylight brings. Morning, everyone. It's T-Bear. I don't know if you can read my shirt, but it says I'm just one big freaking ray of sunshine. And I feel like that just says it all. So greetings, everyone. It's Sunday, the last day of our little writing experiment here. I'm not going to talk too much this morning. Or this afternoon, rather. I did go ahead and decide to change the crime to match the scene that I really wanted to write. I've pretty much got Act 1 completely plotted out. Act 2, obviously, and Act 3 change with the crime. So that's what I'm going to be working on today. So I'm just going to turn the camera around, get a little footage, and I'll probably do some kind of an end of the day wrap up for you guys. But that's it. I'll talk to you all again soon, or if I run across anything interesting along the way, I'll be sure to document that for you. All right, guys, so that's my first Author Tube weekend creative vlog. I did manage to get 2,408 words written here, mostly in the plotting and outlining character development of the story. I pretty much got the entire first act plotted and figured out, so I think I'm pretty much ready to start on that at any time. I've got about another week before Nanowrimo starts, so I have a few more days to kind of figure out some basic direction for Acts 2 and 3. But I really enjoyed making this vlog for you guys this week. It was my first ever weekend vlog, as I said, so I hope that you guys enjoyed it. I'm sure it's going to be a beast to edit, but I'm up for that too. So I thought that I don't drink much, but since it is the first vlog completed, I did think I would celebrate it in some way. So I got myself a little rum here. I got myself my favorite drink of all time, Mexican Coca-Cola in the glass bottle. Has to be in the glass bottle. And I have my stew here. I don't think you guys will be able to see it very well, but I'll put in a little picture of it here at the somewhere on the screen for you. I'll fully admit that if you have no relationship to Brunswick stew, it's probably not the most appetizing looking thing, but I promised it to you guys, and it is very tasty. So I want to make sure I deliver on my promise. And so with my Malibu and Coke here, I thought I would toast to our successful first weekend vlog, and hopefully many more to come in the future. So I really appreciate every view and every subscriber that I get. So if you guys are interested in my channel and what I'm doing here, please like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate that. And I'll talk to you guys all again soon. So cheers. Oh, that's good. That's really good.